So Rwanda wants to build a monument to honor Ghanaian soldiers that stayed behind.
Most people don't realize this, but Kwame Nkrumah didn't just free Ghana. He tried to save the entire African continent.
Has played a very significant role when it comes to African unity. You guys, this video I'm about to show you guys is the Rwanda people, the Rwanda government is trying to build a monument for Ghana. You know, you guys, you're gonna know the reason why they are doing this, to honor Ghanaian soldiers that have, that stood back to fight with them when they were, during the war and when they were in deep pains. You guys, Ghana has been the backbone of other Africans. So I'm going to be allowing you guys to watch this video. Please watch till the end. Like this video, subscribe, and see the reason why they are building a monument.
So Rwanda wants to build a monument to honor Ghanaian soldiers that stayed behind to help the Rwandese people during the Rwandan genocide. This is one of the military personnel that helped while people were leaving them to their fate. They stood behind to protect the Rwandan people. These are some of them as well. This is Kagame honoring some of them. This is Kagame and the other guy. And this is the, I don't know if this is the exact monuments they want to build, but it looks cool to me. If this is what they are trying to build. Looks really nice. But yeah, shout out to Rwanda.
Rwanda continues to celebrate Ghana because of what our armed forces did. When other countries left during their genocide, that very horrendous episode they don't want to remember, it was Ghanaian troops who stayed and saved lives, created humanitarian corridors for aid and for assistance to come later. That is why Rwanda has presented its highest national awards to Ghanaians, the Ghanaian commanders, led by General Anyidoho. They celebrate him unto this day. He has, when General Anyidoho arrives in Rwanda, he has received the highest national award. Do you know the Rwandans have written to the foreign ministry that they want to come to Ghana and establish a monument?
They have?
Yes. And I put together a committee. We have selected the location. It's going to be at the Bema camp. And they are coming. They say that they don't want us to contribute anything. They are going to use their own Rwandan taxpayer resources
because
to
of
erect this monument.
Our partaking
because
and
of
participation
what we did.
in that,
yes.
the intervention.
The intervention. They say that if our troops didn't come there on peacekeeping and didn't stay, they don't know if they will be alive today. So the Rwandans in the next few days are going to start the erection of a monument here at Bema camp. And they want it to be an eternal and enduring appreciation.
So the UN pulled out. How long did it take?
The UN passed a resolution to reduce
the force.
The force.
Okay.
To virtually its shadow. Of course, we kept a figure beyond what the UN, because we realized that if we wanted to comply with their instructions, we were not going to survive.
You were disregarding an order.
Yes, we did so that if at the end of it we were questioned, we will term it an unlawful order. The first time, I think, in the history of the UN that some commanders had disobeyed UN orders. We did. We knew that we were disobeying their orders, but we did.
When you disobeyed this order, I believe you disobeyed first and then reported to Accra second.
No, for the Accra one, it was the decision to stay.
Ghana backed you to stay.
For Ghana to stay, I had told my commander, first commander, when he said, Henry, here we are, Belgium is pulling out, Bangladesh also wants to go. What about your troops? Then I said, well, for Ghana, we are not going anywhere, we will stay here. But when I said it, I knew that I didn't have that authority. we had to get it from back home. So I sent a message home that this was the situation.
Who was the recipient of this message?
To the Minister of Defense. That was my line of communication.
That would have been
so
at
I sent
that
it to
time.
Army.
Okay.
Army will then contact the Chief of Defense Staff, and the Chief of Defense Staff will then take it to the Minister. And then because we had entered the whatever you call it, a democratic government system.
Yeah, just about 2 years. Yeah.
And then they had to go to the Council of Courts to the government for approval. Fortunately, the reply came that I was the one on the ground as the senior most person. If that was my decision, then we should stay.
Which meant they had confidence in your argument.
Yes, if they had been otherwise, that they said that we should come back, it would have been very shameful, very regretful that we pulled out of the place because killing was going on. Certainly, we were not sent there to stop killing per se. We were sent there hoping that it was going to be a peaceful transition.
Peacekeeping, yeah.
Exactly. But I couldn't see us. More so, the challenge was that Ghana was the only African country. Bangladesh from Asia, then Belgium from Europe.
Yeah.
So were we going to abandon other Africans in time of difficulty? The answer was no.
What was the reaction of your troops who would have seen Belgium departing, would have seen Bangladesh go, and probably would start asking, Chief, sir, why are we still here?
Quite a number of them were terrified, like any human being. If anybody said he was not scared, it was not true. But
were you scared?
Yes, but it was leadership. We were in time of tragedy, and the commander should not be seen to be scared. So you pretended as if nothing was happening, because if the troops should notice in your face that you were shaky, then the game was lost.
So a good commander has to be a good
You
actor.
have to behave as if nothing really. So I said, well, I call a meeting, like a town hall where
Ghana was the first African country to start the decolonization of Africa. There, Kwame Nkrumah was the first ever African person to start the reunity of Africa. There, the Black Stars of Ghana were the first African nation to take the AFCON. There, you see this nation called Ghana, everything about them is always them, and them. Ghana, you're too perfect to be real. Guy, when I just sweet pass, you guys are too sweet. Vernacular, they have just one vernacular throughout the nation. Damn, no wonder they love to get married to each other. Ghanaians, can you prepare me a wife for me to come pick? Please!
Most people don't realize this, but Kwame Nkrumah didn't just free Ghana. He tried to save the entire African continent. In 1957, Ghana became the first black African country to break free from colonial rule. And Nkrumah, he was the voice behind that freedom. But for him, independence wasn't enough. He said, and I quote, "Our independence is meaningless unless it is linked up with the total liberation of the African continent." He pushed for a United States of Africa, one currency, one defense, one government, and he predicted that if Africa stayed divided, outside powers would exploit us through debt, trade deals, and corporate control. Does it sound familiar? Nkrumah supported liberation movements in Congo, Kenya, Zimbabwe. He was a Pan-Africanist before it was even popular, and that scared Western governments. In 1966, when he was on a peace mission to Vietnam, his government was overthrown in a military coup. The CIA later confirmed they played a role. They called him too radical, too ambitious, but nearly every warning he gave has come true. He died in exile, rejected by the West, but remembered across Africa. If you're from Ghana, Kenya, Congo, or anywhere on the continent, do you think Nkrumah's vision for Africa could still happen? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This is the Africa you're not shown. I'm here to show you.
All of a sudden, I'm so proud of my Ghanaian brothers. And right now, I think I want Ghanaians to be the one representing our African culture and heritage. In every place where African culture is to be represented, Ghanaians should be the one doing that.
Ghana has played a lot of good roles for the unity, Pan-Africa of Africa. In fact, Ghana have helped a lot of Africans to get independent. Ghana have helped country like Nigeria to, get their independence. So currently, the people of Rwanda are building a monument for Ghana after the soldiers stood in pains, in dryness, in love to defend them when they were, really suffering during the period. And these Ghanaian soldiers, they paid with their own blood, not for their own land, but for the land of Rwanda. Not for their own land, guys, but for the land of Rwanda. And that have actually gotten me to my point. I'm like, is that the reason why a lot of people are saying that Ghanaians are selfless? They are so beautiful. They have cool hearts. Someone went to someone's country to go and shed his own blood to save another person, not his own country, another country. Ghanaian soldiers fought for Rwanda's freedom. And today, Rwandans are building a monument to honor Ghanaians and Ghanaians soldiers. Isn't that beautiful? And then you see when God is blessing Ghanaians today, some countries are beginning to come and say that you dare not say anything because Ghanaians are fought for their freedom. They have fought for other African countries' freedom, and they are still fighting for people. I could remember late last year, 2025, when Jamaica had issue, Sudan had issue. President John Dramani Mahama sent some aid. In fact, they even sent some soldiers to help them in Sudan or Jamaica. Ghana has been doing this right from the time of memorial, and that is why you see God keep on blessing Ghana. So people of Rwanda are honoring Ghana with a memento, to honor the soldiers that stood with them, stood with their blood with them, and that is why motherland is progressing. Yes, that is why motherland is progressing. Let me know your thoughts on the comment section. If you are just watching for the first time, I feel so emotional watching that video, and it can tell like I'm very, very emotional about that video. Let me know your thoughts on the comment section, and please do well by liking this video, subscribe and share. Thank you so much. I'll see you on my next one.